Good evening. Welcome to the Pearl Report. I'm Diana Lin. Hong Kong needs your blood, a constant appeal by authorities tasked to ensure a constant, stable supply of the life-giving substance. But Christy Leung reports, despite a recent relaxation to allow homosexuals to give blood, more donors are needed, due partly to young people being increasingly deemed unsuitable due to their lifestyle.
The recipient is a 62-year-old patient with liver cancer. During the mobilization and also during the implantation of the new liver, there will be some bleeding. So during the midpoint of the operation, there will be the need of transfusion. We have prepared more than 20 units of blood, platelets and plasma, but usually we don't need to use more than 4 units in this patient.
Each unit is 450 cc of blood. An average adult has about 4,000 cc. Losing more than 1/5 of the blood would be life-threatening. So, a supply is stored in this freezer near the operation theatre for transfusion.
If the blood is not replenished in time, the most detrimental effect will be on the brain. The patient may not be able to wake up and may be in the vegetative state forever.
Managed by the hospital authority, the Red Cross Blood Transfusion Service is the only body supplying blood to hospitals, both public and private. Last year, 259,000 units of blood were donated to the BTS.
We got 91% of the blood sending to the public hospital and only less than 9% of blood sending to the private hospitals.
Hospital authority data show more than half the blood supply went to the medicine and geriatrics department.
Because of the aging population and the more severe, more complicated surgery, so we need more blood.
And Queen Mary, the only public hospital doing liver transplants, has raised its patient age limit from 65 to 70.
We need to increase 20% of the blood being reserved for those elderly patients. They tolerate poorly to low hemoglobin level. We need to give blood more readily. This is also called autologous blood transfusion.
This new technology allows surgeons to transfuse a patient's own blood lost during an operation back into his body.
But if the bleeding is really massive, then we need some other blood donors to donate blood in order to sustain this operation. Blood is something that cannot be substituted for the time being, even the modern technology.
A liver transplant operation takes at least 10 hours.
The long operation means blood loss will be around 1.5 liters to 4 liters. This is the usual range. If you have no blood donation in the general public, I don't think liver transplantation is the operation that we can perform.
More than 700 units of red cells are being transfused every day in the hospital in Hong Kong. We have 7.5 million population. We would say that 12 days inventory is safe.
That means at least 1,100 blood donations daily. But from January to early November this year, the target was only reached on 21 days. Early this month, the BTS made another appeal as blood inventory dropped to an alarming level again.
Inventory that is lower than 5 days is alarming. We have to inform the populations as well as the clinical service that the blood supply is going to be tight.
Besides 11 donor centers, BTS go to schools and companies to collect blood.
How many times have you given blood?
This is my 26th or 27th. In all those years, my wife been to operation, I myself been to operation, my mother-in-law been to operation. So we are actually using blood. Well, I'm just giving back.
Advertisements say donating blood can help others. I'm not sure who I'm helping, but I know anyone needing my blood is in need.
At BTS headquarters, donated blood is put in this centrifuge to separate the 4 major components: red and white blood cells, platelets and plasma. each with its separate functions. Sufferers of severe bacterial sepsis need white blood cells. Anemic patients need red blood cells. Wang Cheknam was born with a pale face and poor appetite. She was later diagnosed with thalassemia major.
Thalassemia is an inherited genetic abnormality with certain genes.
I feel very sad I couldn't give her a healthy body. Is it because I didn't take good care of her? The doctor said that's not so. It's due to my husband and I having the genes.
Thalassemia major is the most serious form of thalassemia. These patients cannot actually make any red blood cells.
Long jump test. Not far. Didn't run fast enough.
Cheknam gets a blood transfusion every 4 weeks.
Very tired. Going up 5 stories, can't breathe on the 3rd. But I have to go to class.
They do not receive blood transfusion in time, and if they're seriously anemic, they cannot carry on with a normal life.
More than 300 patients suffer from severe thalassemia major in Hong Kong.
These patients start to require blood transfusion from 6 months to 1 year old for the rest of their lives. These patients impose a heavy strain on the blood supply in Hong Kong. Now, on average, they require about 4 units of blood every month. And so it is 4 donors to 1 patient every month.
Cheknam skips school 1 day a month to get her blood transfusion.
Her hemoglobin level today fell to 10.3, needs 2 units.
The normal level should be 11.5 or above.
It's dropped to 6 to 7 before and needed 3 units.
Cheknam is 11.
11 years flew by, but a long journey too. To people like her who need monthly transfusions, she hangs on every month. Every drop of blood is vital to her health.
Before a transfusion, I feel tired and don't want to play. I'd rather stay at home to sleep, watch TV.
Every time she leaves the hospital, her face is rosy, seems more energetic. That relieves me. I wish she'd grow up to be a good and sensible girl and get well soon.
Blow the bubbles or play soccer or just running around. It's good to work out.
Henry Lam and 7-year-old daughter Cheryl play in the park every weekend.
I was diagnosed with hemophilia when I was 3 months old. So I'm not allowed to play in physical education sessions because of avoiding the bleeding.
As a boy, Henry once fell and hurt himself.
Quite severely bleeding in the left elbow. It's within the joint, so the joint is getting swollen very badly.
We have a normal clotting system. These very minor bleedings will stop very soon. But in patients with hemophilia, unfortunately, these minor bleedings don't stop until they have a catastrophic bleeding somewhere in the major organ, in joints, or in the brain. Of course, the bleeding can be life-threatening.
Plasma in blood contains coagulants that help clotting and heal wounds.
I received the plasma that ending for a week. That year, I remember I cannot touch my shoulder, bending in this way. It took me like a year to recover.
Hemophilia patients can inject clotting factors by themselves.
We do not wait for these patients to bleed. We will ask them to inject themselves with these clotting factors once in a while to maintain a certain level of clotting factors in their circulation.
Henry's been injecting himself since his teens.
2 to 3 times per week now. Actually, after the exercise, I will feel some pain in the joint muscle. Then I do further injection in the next day. And then less swelling, less pain. Every time I will infuse 3,000 units of concentrated factor, 6 bottles of factors.
When a donor donates a unit of blood, there is only a very small amount of clotting factors that can be extracted from the plasma. So you can actually imagine the number of donors that is required to supply these patients.
Back to the 1990s, for the patient is older than that, they didn't have the factor at home, so their joint condition is bad.
And bleeding in the joints could have very serious consequences. These joints can become deformed.
So factor concentrate are very, very important for the hemophilic patient to have a better quality of life.
Coming up after the break, aging donors.
Every time I donate blood, I think of it as my last time.
If the younger populations are more eager to donate blood, that will still be a lot better.
But some are turned away.
Because my hemoglobin level was low.
While gay donors feel stigmatized.
We need to stop sex activities for a year. This is discrimination.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Pearl Report. Authorities are appealing to young people to give blood to ensure a stable supply. But increasingly, youths are being turned away, partly due to a common habit to start the day. Meanwhile, regular donors are aging.
Lillian Lai, aged 60, began giving blood in her 20s.
Before I donate blood, I make sure that I have a good full breakfast in the morning. 2 pieces of toast, just plain toast, and a cup of chocolate milk. The night before, I'll go to bed earlier to make sure that I have enough sleep because I do not want to be rejected. I come exactly on the day they ask me to. I do that by setting an alarm in my phone a few days in advance to make sure that I don't miss the date.
Donors are tested for their hemoglobin or red blood cell level.
That is the safety of the donor himself or herself, because if they are anemic, we cannot draw the blood from them anymore.
The level has to be over 13 for men and 11.5 for women. Lillian donates every 3.5 months. This is her 90th time.
I feel fine and I feel healthy, touch wood. So I'm still keeping the same. If I can help people, I'm more than glad to do it. Okay, you want to go? Okay. Whoa, whoa.
Lillian often brings her grandson Kyle to the park.
I will have to chase after him, so that's quite a lot of exercise for me. I also go to the gym to spend some time, mainly on the treadmill. I make sure that I make about 3 kilometers. Red Cross is very strict. I get older every day, and I don't want to be rejected at all. So I make sure that I will lead a healthy lifestyle.
Ko Yok Chang, one of Hong Kong's top blood donors.
First blood donation in 1971, over 40 years ago.
He donates every 2.5 months. Today's his 186th time.
As I get older, the iron content in my blood is inadequate. If you fail the test, you're rejected.
Ko often walks an hour from his home in Lai Chi Kok to Mei Fu.
Exercise improves your metabolism and blood circulation.
At 65, Ko needs a doctor's approval to continue giving blood until he's 70.
Every time I donate blood, I think of it as my last time. If I can keep donating until I'm 70, it's no problem if I'm allowed. My blood lipids, blood sugar, and blood pressure are not high. My only concern is irregular heartbeat. If I fail the test, then my blood donation journey ends. And I hope young people will carry on.
The Red Cross blood transfusion service recorded in the past decade, the number of donors aged 51 to 70 doubled, while those aged 16 to 30 fell by 12%. Last year, 1 in 8 donors is turned away.
The most common reasons among them is iron deficiency. That can be due to our eating habit.
For instance, in the US, it is 1 in 10.
They take a lot of meat, they don't take a lot of tea. That actually block the iron absorption.
Keith Chung, aged 22, just graduated from university.
I drink milk tea twice a week. It has already become a trend. You just pay $20 and you can buy a huge cup of milk tea.
His friend Libby Lam drank a cup of milk tea a day when she was in college.
There are many workloads when I was studying university, like a presentation, midterms, or writing papers, so milk tea can help me keep myself refreshed.
Libby began giving blood at 16. In recent years, she was frequently turned away. In 1 year, 5 consecutive times. It happened again last month.
My hemoglobin level was low as 9.
The threshold for women is 11.5.
The nurse at that time explained to me that it was probably because I did not have enough sleep and I drank milk tea.
Tannins, which we nowadays call anti-nutritional factors.
Tea and coffee contain tannin that hinders absorption of iron.
When we consume these beverages together with our meal, tannin will forming the insoluble iron tannate compounds. With the iron being found in our diet, ultimately it will affect the absorption. The volume of these beverages are increasing in size from 8 ounces per portion up to 26 ounces, might increase the tannin substances in the beverage. It would be advised that they can drink the milk tea between meals.
I get myself prepared by stop drinking milk tea for about 1 month ago, and I try to sleep earlier. And I hope that I can donate blood successfully this time. I was still rejected this time. The nurse said my hemoglobin level recovery is relatively fast, and I still need to work on it.
For the hemoglobin level, it really takes time to be recovered, 3 months or up to 6 months or even longer.
Libby dines with her family every weekend.
The nurse had gave me some advice, such as other than eating some red meat, such as beef or pork, I can also eat more fungus, tofu, and some nuts, which are rich in iron. I will not give up. Because we are part of our society, if our family member needs blood, we will definitely donate our blood to them. But why not other people?
Also rejected are donors on medication, such as aspirin, drugs for hair loss and acne. Postnatal women are banned for 6 months. Travelers to some countries with endemic diseases are deferred.
Diseases such as malaria, Zika, West Nile disease or mad cow disease. And people coming back from those areas may be carrying the agents inside their body. We will defer to them according to those specific disease incubation period.
Carriers of blood-borne infections, including hepatitis B, hepatitis C, syphilis, and HIV, are rejected. Ray Chen, the first openly gay lawmaker in Hong Kong, was in a blood donation drive at Lachco in 2013, when homosexual donors were banned for life.
I knew I will be rejected. I just want to show there was a very ridiculous blood donation policy in Hong Kong.
These are rules that were often brought in the 1980s and 1990s when we knew so little about HIV. And the testing technology was not to be able to detect HIV.
I feel very disappointed. I feel like I was a second-class citizen.
Authorities lifted the ban this September. But gay and bisexual men must abstain from sex for a year before giving blood.
With reference to the other countries' experience, we think that the 1 year abstinence from the male sex with male, together with the sensitive blood test, could be safe for the blood donation.
The US, Australia, and Canada also deferred for a year. Japan for 6 months, Britain for 3 months starting next year.
It is baby steps. Our blood is not inherently unsafe. We can also loyal to our partners, practice safe sex, and having texted regularly. Hong Kong can shorten its deferral period to 3 or 6 months.
Nucleic acid testing is used to detect HIV in blood. In 2007, new technology shortened the window period for HIV infection from 22 days to around 6 days.
We feel that, why is there a 1 year deferral and not corresponding to the latest technology? And by latest, I mean 10 years ago.
2 years ago, Ho Lok Chan's gay rights group protested at a Donors Award ceremony.
It is unnecessary to screen out or to pinpoint a community that is already heavily stigmatized. If we only screen people due to their sexual orientation, it is not scientific, because the most scientific way is to screen people depending on their risk of sexual intercourse. For example, have you conducted safe sodomy with condom?
I think it's too simplistic. There are many hundreds of people in Hong Kong infected with HIV who have not yet been diagnosed. It's important that make sure that HIV does not get into the blood supply. A 1 year deferral period is too much. The testing is now very sophisticated for detecting HIV infected blood, and therefore we can be thinking about how to reduce the deferral period further.
Deferral period can be updated if there is more solid evidence coming out.
Well, thank you for watching our show. It will be re-aired on Monday, Tuesday and Saturday, as well as online and on mobile apps. Until next time, from the Pearl Report team, good night, good luck and good health.